so sad.
Hey guys, we're back down in the planting room. It's time for another update. Instead of being late at night, it's actually early in the morning. I figure we do things a little bit different. So we're going to start looking at all the plants that I have growing down here, and then we're going to head outside and actually do some work in the garden. So let's take a look and see how everything's doing. Pepper's still looking good. Again, we still have about 2 to 3 weeks before these go outside, but they're nowhere near reaching the top of the lights. They take a really long time to get growing and to get established, so no worries about the heights on these. This is the week that I give them a bit of fertilizer, so that should spur them on a little bit, but they are getting quite thick. Some of them have some flowers starting to form on them. So when it's time for them to go outside, we should be getting, again, quite a few peppers. All the cucumbers, melons, zucchinis, squash that were planted, was it a couple weeks ago now? I can't even remember. Most of them have germinated, and they're starting. Again, these ones are a little bit trickier because unlike peppers, cucumbers, and especially squash, spaghetti squash and butternut squash, zucchini will really take off really quick. So as soon as they grow, you get about 2 or 3 weeks, and then they will exhaust all the nutrients in the pots and start to perform very poorly. So 3 or 4 weeks inside, and then they have to go out. Okay, under the next set of lights, the imperial broccoli, still putting on lots of growth. They tend to take a little bit longer, and I found that they don't mind being in these cell packs, so they'll be okay for another couple weeks before they can go outside. Cauliflower, looking good. Should be, again, good timing for when they're able to go outside. In the back, just a bunch of brassicas, so regular cabbage. Most of them came up. Turnips, these are older seeds, so I got a couple that came up out of the 10 that I planted, so maybe next year we'll be ordering some new seeds there. Again, the Swiss chard, 5 of them came up, so about a 50% germination rate. Again, those are older seeds, so time to order some new ones for next year. And the kale, they all worked, so that's good. So what cabbages are getting big, I may have to pot those up. I'm really trying not to, just because I don't have the room for a bunch more 4-inch pots. Looks like I'm gonna have to get another shelf set up for grow lights. So we'll try and keep them in these pots, but if necessary, I'll pot them up and find room. And the butterfly flowers just starting to put out their first set of, I guess, main leaves, and those are the seed leaves. Never grown those before, so they should be interesting when we put them outside. And then iceberg starting to come up. I have to thin those out. And romaine here, first one is just starting to show up. And on the final shelf, lettuce seeds are all coming up. Eggplants, again, doing phenomenally well. They don't seem to be suffering at all from these 4-inch pots, even though the plants are very, very large. And tomatoes doing well. They're a little bit wilted. Have to give them some water and some fertilizer, but they should do well. Again, starting to get quite large. I've pinched out a few suckers that have already shown up, and you can see flowers already appearing. So I may have to adjust the timing on these for next year. We'll see how they look in a couple weeks when they're destined to go outside. All right, time to head outside and do some work in the garden. It's been pretty warm out. Daytime temperatures, 5 to 10 degrees Celsius, which is pretty warm for us for this time of the year. Nighttime temperatures are still dropping down to about -5. I did put my pea seeds in the ground, as well as beets and spinach. This is about 3 weeks earlier than I've been planting previous years. We'll see what happens. Hopefully the seeds just kind of hang out in the soil until the temperatures are right for them to germinate and to sprout. From my understanding, spinach loves the cold weather anyway, so I'm pretty sure those are going to work out quite well. Same thing with peas. I'm not too concerned about those. Those are pretty cold tolerant, and they'll just germinate and start to grow when the temperature is right. We'll see what happens with the beets. I'm hoping they'll behave as the other seeds do. But again, we're really early in the season, so if anything doesn't work, I should have plenty of time to reseed everything. Not everything, but reseed the ones that don't work. Let's put it that way. Okay, let's head outside. All right, so it's a beautiful day out. Got a full cup of coffee, so let's try and get some work done in the garden before we do the tour. So even though I put a lot of effort into trying to get onion seeds to work, they're not the greatest. So I am going to plant a few onion sets. It's a little cold still, but these things, they'll survive a light frost or even a medium frost without much problems. Nothing fancy in terms of spacing. I just kind of eyeball it, and I'm going to put them about 2 inches under the surface of the soil. So yeah, let's get started.
I like to do my own rules.
That's fine.
Me too. I just go down and then I just go down and put the onions in. And then I cover them up and I just squish them down. All the onions. peeling them. I put them on the dirt and then I squish them down. See? And then...
Okay, work's all done for the day, just in time. It's getting cold and windy out here. Let's take a quick look at how everything stands out in the garden. Okay, so not quite the eyesore that it once was. We're getting there. Earlier this week, sowed beets in the front part of this bed and spinach in the back part of this bed.
Can you tell me what you're planting?
Beets. Can I put some seeds in?
Put them on the other side where I haven't done yet.
Did you crack the pods open?
No, these ones you just plant them as they are.
Pop. Pop. I used all my...
I think we're gonna have to come back and thin them out. That's all right.
Plop. I'm just getting some extra spots. There.
Okay, knock the hills over on top of the seeds.
Right here.
Yeah. Just knock it over. Yeah. Perfect.
There. I don't want to take out my shovel, so I got this.
Okay, knock the hills over. Go to the other side.
Don't step on the bed, Julie.
Perfect. Good job. That worked.
Peas are all set up. Bunch of eggshells, fresh compost in the ground here. Gonna wait a little while to put the pole beans in. They need a little bit warmer temperatures. But yeah, peas are all in the ground. I've covered the strawberries again in the hopes that it'll promote early growth and an earlier harvest. Ooh, it's chilly. So looking down the strawberry tunnel, you can see some green starting to poke through the bed in the front. This is the second year for those plants, and then in the back those are runners that I transplanted late in the year, so most of them look like they've survived. There are about 3 or 4 spots that they didn't survive, which is fine. I'll transplant some runners from the front bed early on in the year. And on this side we spread the manure, turned over the bed. This will be where the peppers go. I use that manure as a top dressing for the asparagus bed. Haven't seen anything poke through yet, but we haven't got a real good rain yet. Usually about 4 or 5 days after we get the first heavy downpour in spring that the shoots start coming up. And we turned over this bed, worked in some manure, and this will be the tomato bed again this year. This year this bed is due for the zucchini and squash and pumpkins still a bit of a mess, still a big mess. And last but not least, cherries have definitely survived. They are looking pretty good. So hopefully these put on a lot of new growth. And again, I have to put up a fence to protect them from the deer. All right, that's it for today. I'm freezing out here, so going inside. The raspberries are still haven't come to life yet. They're still dormant, and the 2 cherry plants that I have on the other side are similar to these ones. They have buds forming. So this is their 4th year. I think I have to check. I'm pretty sure this is the 4th year those plants have been in the ground. So they should start producing cherries this year, which will be really exciting. Haven't actually tried them. They're supposed to be quite sweet, but we'll see what happens. The wood plant did have 2 or 3 blossoms last year, so hopefully this year both of the plants have lots of blossoms. We'll see what happens. All right, that's it for me. See you later.
One day someone brought in a pack of worms, and I didn't want to hold one, but since then I got brave and I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of anything either. It kind of tickles actually. Ooh, that's it. And I'll think I'll put it back. Go Jellybean. Go Jellybean. Jellybean, go. Go Jellybean. I think I'm going to put this one. Aha. Good. Good Jellybean.